Go ask their family. This is why so many activists and civil rights leaders have called for a rethinking of how we understand and implement public safety rather than relying on a system that historically targets and harms blacks. You know, I mentioned Malcolm X a little while ago. He spoke openly about the role of police in maintaining oppression, and he famously said, "We as a people are nonviolent. We are nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with us." Let me say that again. Malcolm said, "We as a people, we are nonviolent with people who are nonviolent with us." Do I need to break that down for you guys to tell you what that actually means? It means we don't believe. Malcolm's message was, I don't believe in turning the other cheek. I don't believe in singing "We Shall Overcome." That slogan highlighted and emphasized and was a mantra that the Black Panther Party used and highlighted the need for self-defense in the face of police violence. That's, you goddamn right. The Black Panther Party, Malcolm X, the Black Panther Party, they all believed that there should be a self-defense against the actions of the police. It's because the police and their protect and serve is the biggest con ever pulled on America. It is absolutely a con.
Now with breaking news overnight in the shooting death of Jonathan Price, a black man who was killed while trying to break up a domestic dispute. The police officer has now been charged with murder, and Marcus Moore is in Wolf City, Texas with the story. Good morning, Marcus.
Well, George, good morning. That arrest came just hours after people took to the streets of this small Texas town demanding justice. You can see the memorial here. Jonathan Price, an admired member of this community, shot and killed at this convenience store.
This morning, Wolf City police officer Sean David Lucas charged with murder in the death of Jonathan Price.
Oh, Lord, answer my son. Oh, my baby.
Price, a 31-year-old city employee, was killed in this convenience store parking lot after witnesses say he was trying to defuse a heated argument between a couple inside the store.
3 gunshots went off, and I turned and looked at them, and I said, a cop just shot somebody.
According to the Texas Rangers, which is handling the investigation, when Officer Lucas arrived, Price walked away in, quote, a non-threatening posture. The Rangers say Lucas then tasered Price before shooting and killing him, adding the preliminary investigation indicates the actions of Officer Lucas were not objectively reasonable. Price was a beloved pillar of the community who worked with and coached children and had a personal training business. Overnight, more than 100 people showing up to honor Jonathan's life outside the gas station where he was killed, locking hands and wearing masks.
Black people aren't making it up. We're not playing a race card. There is a problem.
The officer's bond was set at $1 million, and there's still a lot we don't know about what happened in this parking lot. Price's family, though, demanding the officer be arrested. And, Michael, that's exactly what happened overnight.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA.
Yeah, who gives a damn Robin Roberts? Who gives a damn Robin Roberts? I'm going to be dropping those examples in throughout the remainder of this stream to illustrate what I'm talking about. To understand why there's a to really understand why there's a deep mistrust of law enforcement with black folk, we need to go back to the origins of policing in the United States. I alluded to this earlier. The first organized police force was in the were in the southern states and was actually called slave patrols. These patrols were established in the 1700s, and they were tasked with controlling the enslaved population by any means necessary. Their duties included catching runaway slaves, breaking up gatherings, terrorizing them, and terrorizing them to prevent slave revolts. This historian, her name is Sally Hayden, she had a book called The Slave Patrol, and she documents how these patrols were legally mandated by law and were considered a crucial part of maintaining the system of slavery. So these patrols were codified in law, and slave patrols were essentially the first police forces, and their main job was to keep black people in line. That was their main job. They were brutal, often used excessive violence, and they operated with the full backing of the court system. And then after the Civil War, when slavery was abolished, these slave patrols didn't go nowhere. They evolved and morphed into what we commonly now know as law enforcement. And many of the former slave patrol members became police officers. And then their children 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 became police officers, which is where we are today. And the same attitudes and practices that were used to brutalize black people during slavery, they're carried out, they carried over into this new form of quote unquote law enforcement. You know, after slavery ended, the South introduced these things called black codes, and later were defined as Jim Crow laws to maintain white supremacy and control of black people. The history of America has been this obsession with controlling Negroes, blacks. They are obsessed with it, even to this day. Law enforcement played a key role in enforcing these laws. The police were not just passive enforcers, they actively participated in maintaining their racial thuggery, even to this day. That's why you have like 80 to 90% of police officers are Caucasians. They are patrolling and policing, quote unquote, patrolling neighborhoods, and people black neighborhoods are poor. I personally live in a predominantly black neighborhood, and it's middle and upper middle class, and we got way too many damn police officers over here for these peaceful working class, upper middle class people. It's crazy. We don't have issues over here, but we have a hell of a lot of police officers over here. And before you make the argument, well, it's because it's peaceful because it's the police, that's a damn lie. It's peaceful over here because the people are peaceful. So back to what I was saying. During Jim Crow, police were responsible for laws that kept black people segregated from whites in public spaces. But looking back, given where we are today, I don't know why that was a bad thing anymore. Let me ask you guys a question. What social or economic benefit has come from us integrating with these white folk? We've had nothing but trouble ever since we integrated with these people. When we had trouble before, but I believe they've gotten worse. I can make the argument that integrating with them has led to the downfall of the black family structure. And now that I'm thinking about it, the original source of the tragic issues that plague black folks. Remember Martin Luther King said, I think I led my people into a burning building? I think I integrated my people into a burning building. Were we ever meant to integrate with these folks? These folks despise us on a genetic level. I believe it's in their biology, it's in their DNA. Police have also participated in lynching and several other different forms of racial violence. You know, this history that I'm talking about it's well known, it's well documented. This lady, Michelle Alexander, she wrote a book in 2010 called The New Jim Crow. I think you guys should go read it. It explores how the criminal justice system has been used to violate and decimate black people, um, starting from the end of slavery all the way through today. And law enforcement agencies became the enforcement of a system designed to break the will and, if possible, exterminate black people. And this role has had lasting effects on the relationship between black folk and law enforcement. No cap.
How do I know y'all a singing group? Why don't y'all sing something